All right. All right. Hi, everybody.
Hey, y'all. Thank you for being here. We're super excited. Yeah, thank you for being here.
We are teaching artists from Rising Youth Theater. My name is Sarah Sullivan.
My name is Quinn Purcell.
And Rising Youth Theater is a youth leadership organization. We work with youth and adults in collaboration. So that's what you're seeing right now, youth and adult facilitator working in collaboration. And all of our work is centered in our community and centered in the idea of youth leaders.
Yep. So Rising Youth Theater has been working with the city of Tempe since, I think, like last August on this Arts in the Park. Actually, what we were doing was doing like small pop-up events in Selleh Park to talk to the community and gather stories about their experience living near that park. And so the past couple of months before social distancing started, we were working with Connolly Middle School with their Kids Zone, which is their after school program for the middle schoolers there, and we were working with them to develop a short 15-minute performance that would take place in Selleh Park about what they wanted to talk about. And so that was what we were going to do before everything moved to like a virtual space.
We obviously can't do that tonight, but we wanted to take some of the ways in which we work together and share some of that with you. So over the course of the evening, every 10 minutes, we're going to be taking you through a new writing exercise, something that we use in our practice actively. So we hope you will join us. You can stay the whole time, jump in and out. Again, it's a new project every 10 minutes. And thanks for creating with us tonight. It's really exciting. So our first poem we're going to take you through is called an I Am poem. And I'm going to drop that into the chat. And an I Am poem is something that we use really frequently in our work. It's a way of getting started. It's a way of building a connection. It's a way of thinking about ourselves and our community and our collaborators. So you can see in the chat, you can click through and grab the link if you want to make a copy and write your own poem in the template. If you have paper in front of you, you can just write down what you see on the screen, whatever feels good to you. But we're going to give you a minute so you can see through here. You're writing down using sensory imaging, different ways of thinking about yourself. So we'll give you a minute to write. We'll put some music on and then we'll share ours and then we'll share some of yours. So we'll just give you about a minute where you'll be writing and then we'll share some of ours and then we'll take some. Once you have yours written, you can just drop that into the chat. And we know that some of our video is cutting out a little bit. We're using a new tool to try and stream from 2 different sites. So we're both streaming from our homes. So thanks for bearing with us as we try this out for the first time. And we welcome any feedback. So we will share with you some of the poems that we wrote So I'm going to share my I am poem using this template. This is one that I actually wrote earlier this year as part of our work on our production of Face to Face. It's an I am poem. I am compassionate and organized. I see my family and my friends in deep green and bright yellow. I hear my daughter's laughter. I come from brisket and blintzes and frozen latkes and sugar-free jello. I come from winter and quiet, desert and chaos. I'm inspired by justice, love, joy, and the people who fight for it. I dream of collective healing, becoming a wise grandmother to generations of powerful women. I dream of a world where we all feel safe, loved, and imagine a future together. So that's mine. Quinn, do you want to share yours?
Yeah. I am understanding and funny. I wonder how we will all change when this is over. I hear rain over the ocean. I see cool blue air under the forecast sky. I want to be peaceful and alone. I am understanding and funny.
So if you are working on a poem on your own, we would love to see some of it or hear some of it. You can drop that into the chat. In the meantime, we're going to read some from some of our ensemble members because we have some others here that I think are just really lovely to hear and meet different people. So these are some of the people in our community. We have, I am loyal and passionate. I see pink sunsets and concrete jungles and blues and greens. I hear Bjork. I come from tamales and meatloaf. I come from a land I was told to forget. I come from the South Side. I'm inspired by image and sound. I dream of love and peace and a world where we are all truly free. And then we have another one. I am persistent and eager. I see unapologetic diversity and transparency in purple and orange. I hear R&B playing from the kitchen. I come from platanos and coconuts. I come from sunny beaches and flat, dry land. I come from once Florida, now Arizona. I'm inspired by hard work and perseverance. I dream of no ifs, ands, or buts. I dream of a world where the talents of people of color aren't a surprise. And if you want to read more of these, we can share them. We have them up on our website, risingyouththeater.org. I am cheerful and motivated. I see love and peace in red and white. I hear rainfall. I come from beans and rice. From the busy city, I'm inspired by my family and friends. I dream of achieving my goals. I dream of a world where everyone is considered human, no matter what. And we'll read one more because that's about how much time we have left on the I Am poems. And again, we would love to get some from those of you who are watching. I know there are 12 folks out there because of YouTube algorithms. So if anyone wants to drop one in to our chat, we would love to hear that from you. Another poem we have from our ensemble. I am passionate and curious. I see my peers and my family in purple and green. I hear laughter. I come from the Andes Mountains, stray dogs, and sugar-free ice cream. I come from Arizona. I'm inspired by my parents and my own progress. I dream of opportunity for everyone. I dream of a world where my family is free. We have time for one more. We have 1 more minute on this one. I am creative and ambitious. I see a cloudy sky with mildly warm sunshine through a bright window in yellow and white. I hear the metallic clack of keychains in my backpack. I come from a small town filled with 150 people. Everyone knows everyone. I come from Phoenix. I'm inspired by my favorite films. I dream of barely vivid pictures of an adult life. I live somewhere I wish I was. I dream of a world where people can create. And then we have one that came in through the chat, which is super exciting. This is from Ty. I am tired and kind. I wonder what tomorrow brings. I hear the touch of sun on my cheeks. I see rolling seas of laughter. I want to sleep in the warmth of my father's arms. I am tired and kind. Which is really beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. So now we're going to transition to our next poem.
Yeah, so if you are just now joining us, thank you for joining us. We're really excited for you to be here. Just really quick, if you didn't catch it at the beginning, my name is Quinn.
And I'm Sarah. And we are teaching artists with Rising Youth Theater. And we are super excited to be here because this is such a unique way to connect with our community, which is really at the core of our values and our mission. Rising Youth Theater is a youth leadership organization. We use theater and story to connect with young people and adults and make change in our community. And this feels like a really exciting way of building community in the current world we're living in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just a quick recap. What we were doing the last couple of months before social distancing was working with Connolly Middle School, which is like right next to Selleh Park, to create like a short 15-minute play that would take place in Selleh Park. But obviously we can't do that anymore. But we are very excited to be here in this virtual space with you all.
Yeah, so we were trying to figure out what to do to translate what we were doing at Connolly and in Selleh Park into a virtual space. This was a really exciting idea for us because it allows us to think about the type of work we were sharing and how do we invite the community to participate. So what we have is a series of different writing prompts, and we're going to create together through YouTube, which is really exciting. We have poems and stories and different ways of experiencing. And this prompt, this next one is a 1-minute story. And it's one of our favorite things. We're really excited to take you through it.
Yeah, so let me go ahead. It's on the screen right now, but let me also drop the template into the chat. So this is something that we like to do like across age groups. It's a really nice way. As you can kind of see, it just like lays out the structure of a story, and it's a really simple and easy way to get like the bones of a story. And so how we're going to do this, instead of just doing it individually, we thought it would be nice to sort of do it together like in the chat, and then Sarah, while we're just sort of going through each prompt, Sarah could be taking notes for us, and then at the end, once we have gone through the whole template, she can read it back to us, and then we can see what we created. So as you can see on the screen, the first prompt, prompt is the right word. The first prompt is once upon a time there was a blank. So this is just introducing the protagonist of our story. It can be an animal or a person or anything you want. So go ahead, if you have any ideas or any characters that you would like to see in this story, go ahead and put those in the chat.
And we know there is about a 20 to 30 second lag from our screens and your screens at home. So we know this might be something that we figure out together and how this works, and it might be a little clunky. All right. It looks like we're still waiting on responses. So what do you think, Quinn? Do we want to maybe give people time to write their own while we read ours? Or do we want to...
Yeah, let's go ahead and read ours. That way, if there's too much of a lag, we can make up for that a little bit.
We have one.
Oh,
Great. All right. Once upon a time. Okay, so then I think we can move on to the prompts. We'll try that.
cool. Okay. Um, so
So we need a
we
name.
have,
We have a
yeah,
we have a cat. So we're going to need a name for that cat.
yeah. Please name the cat in the chat.
And while we're waiting for names, we can also find out maybe what that cat did every day.
Yeah.
Ooh, Jack. The cat's name is Jack.
Jack the cat. I love that. Okay. So Jack the cat is our main character. What does Jack the cat do every day? What is his stasis?
We have another name recommendation for Buddy. So we'll pull some through. We might be able to create a couple of different things with this, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. He woke his owner at
He woke his owner
5
at 5
a.m.
a.m.
That
I love
feels
that.
on brand. I don't have a cat personally, but I hear.
That's on brand. Yeah.
All right. Because until one
Okay.
day, ooh, prowls the castle.
Ooh. I think we can use both of those.
Yeah.
Until one day he went into his owner's room and the owner wasn't there. Oh, that's scary. Okay, so because of that, so he went into his room, or the owner's room, and the owner wasn't there. So because of that, what happened?
Oh. Until one day he decided not to. There's a lot of directions this story could go, and I'm pretty excited about
Yeah.
it. So let's check in on where we're at. So we have once upon a time there was a cat named Jack. Every day he woke his owner at 5 a.m. while prowling the castle. Until one day he went into his owner's room and his owner wasn't there. Because of that, he knew he had 9 lives, so he would find a new owner and live happily ever after.
I love that.
I love it. All right.
Yeah.
I think we told a story.
I think, yeah.
So, we wrote one together, which was super exciting, and we'd love to have you all try to write one of your own and just hear a couple of 1-minute stories. We've written some. So should we share those, Quinn?
Yeah. I can start. Once upon a time, there was a tree named Terrance. Every day, Terrance soaked up the sun and gave shade to the birds who made their home in his branches, until one day, one of the birds' nests fell out of the tree. Because of that, the birds were very sad, and because of that, Terrance was very sad. Until finally, Terrance stooped down and picked up the bird's nest so the birds could be happy again.
I love that.
Thank you.
I feel like that really tells a story. And then something just to extend, and you can go to our website, risingyouththeater.org/resources. Quinn and I actually created a whole lesson around this exercise that's pretty fun for folks of all ages. And it takes you through making these stories and then turning them into your own family shows. So we really recommend checking that out. So the poem, and we'd love to, again, just a reminder while we're sharing these, if you want to be writing another poem and drop that into the chat, we would love to read them out loud for the group. So this is a 1-minute story that I wrote with my 2-year-old daughter, Josephine. It was a real collaboration. And if you want to see our puppet show based on this, you can go to our website. But this story is: once upon a time, there was a pink bunny named French Fry. Every day, French Fry liked to read books and draw with crayons, until one day he couldn't find his books or his crayons. Because of that, he was lonely, and because of that, he felt sad. Until finally, Anna and Elsa came with a bunch of new books. The end.
Oh man, I love that story. This is not the first time I'm hearing that story, and it just gets better every time. It's definitely, you can definitely see the Josie influence, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, I would say that story is 80% Josie and 20% Sarah, but that feels like a reasonable collaboration balance. And I think it's really fun to be doing these together right now over YouTube. All of these templates will stay available for you in the info box and in the chat. So we really do recommend take these, create something with them. These stories can have a lot of life. So we'd love to hear from you now if you have any stories, or if there's anything that you create in the future that I really love reading them. And if we get some more stories and poems as we go on to the next one, we will stop and read them, because again, there is a little bit of a delay. So don't feel like you've missed your window. If you are still working on your 1-minute story and we move on, we will still read it out loud for the live stream for the viewers at home. So don't worry about that. But we are at our 10 minutes. So I think if you've been with us the whole time, you're going to hear our spiel again. But so just very quickly, we want to thank you for being here. We are teaching artists with Rising Youth Theater. I'm Sarah. And we are part of Rising Youth Theater, which is a youth leadership organization that uses theater and story as tools for making change in our community. We center young people and work in a power sharing system. So what you see right now, young person and adult collaborating, that's how we operate in all of our programs. Yeah, so on the screen right now, you can see a poem that was written by one of my favorite poets, George Ella Lyon. And I've loved this poem for a long time. And it also is a really beautiful inspiration point and a starting point for thinking about writing our own poems. One of the reasons we use this poem as a starting point at Rising Youth Theater is thinking about a sense of place and thinking about a sense of history. And we talk a lot about the idea of being a good ancestor, of thinking about those who came before us, those who are working alongside us, and those who are coming after us. And I think that this poem really captures something about being a good ancestor. So we're going to share with you George Ella Lyon reading her poem.
I am from clothespins, from Clorox, and carbon tetrachloride. I am from the dirt under the back porch, black, glistening. It tasted like beets. I am from the forsythia bush, the Dutch elm, whose long gone limbs I remember as if they were my own. I'm from fudge and eyeglasses, from Imogene and Alifair. I'm from the know-it-alls and the pass-it-ons, from perk up and pipe down. I'm from He restoreth my soul with the cotton ball lamb and 10 verses I can say myself. I'm from Artemis and Billy's branch, fried corn and strong coffee, from the finger my grandfather lost to the auger, the eye my father shut to keep his sight. Under my bed was a dress box, spilling old pictures, a sift of lost faces to drift beneath my dreams. I am from those moments, snapped before I budded, leaf fall from the family tree.
So that's I think, beautiful capture of a moment and a family and a story and an identity. And when we work, we all right, there we go. So we have a template that you can use to write this poem, and I'll drop a copy of this template into the chat right now. So you can open up a template. Again, like with all of the poems we're using, you can write this down on a piece of paper. You can open the document and make a copy and fill in the blanks. You can start from scratch and just make something that feels right to you in a way that was inspired by the ideas of the poem. This is the rules are here to break them, so do what feels right to you. And then we will go from there. So we would be incredibly honored if someone wanted to share even just a phrase from their own Where I'm From poems, or write an entire poem. We'll give you some time to work on that writing. So we'll put some music on while you write, and then we'll share our poems, and then hopefully we'll have some from our community to share. So we'll put some music on in the background. So we'll I know that's not really enough time to be deeply writing a poem, but we will share some of the things that we have. So we'll start by sharing some of our own poems. Quinn is frozen right now, so we're working on that. All right. So I will share mine first, and then hopefully we'll get our technical difficulties sorted out. My poem is I am from Vehicle City, from Verners and Coney Islands. I am from the sound of engines and the smell of the woods, from trilliums and Petoskey stones. I am from books and anxiety, from Ruth, Abraham, Cindy. I am from cousin gatherings and poetry, from you are loved and you need to be better, and from Hanukkah candles under the Christmas tree, brisket and matzo ball soup and plain noodles. I am from myself and so much more. Quinn, do you want to go ahead and read yours? That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. We have from the chat, we have I am from oak trees and climbing trees, which is a really beautiful metaphor. And if anyone wants to drop in something into the chat, we would love to hear from you. And if not, we can also always come back to this. Cool. We'll give it just another second. Also, we'll just in a transparent moment, I figured out what went wrong on our live stream. It got a little weird in here. Thanks for bearing with us. We'll have it fixed for the next one. We appreciate you all. All right, let's move on to our next poem, which is the group poem, which is super exciting. And my name is Sarah, and Quinn, I'm gonna have you go ahead with the introduction while I try and fix our backdrop. Oh, so Quinn, I just heard from our studio audience that your audio cut out. So we might need you to recap some of that. And we're going to fix that. So this is what's coming. Hold on. I'm going to put some music back on while we fix this. Thank you for your patience. This isn't what we want. Okay. All right, so we need to add you back into the scene. I don't know why this isn't working. I'm just going to switch us to this one, which we know works. And we don't have the template, but you know what? I think you might need to... Oh, there you are, I think. No? No, because you're fully cut out. Let's see. I'm going to add... Can you take this link? Try going through on the invite link again. And for those of you who are listening at home, thank you for being patient. We very much appreciate it. We are using a new technology. Yeah, I just sent it again. So we'll plug the technology we're using, which is called Lightstream. It's pretty cool, and it allows us to stream from a couple of different places. All right, and I think we're fixing our problem. Thank you again for your patience. Next time we do this, we're going to add in a technical difficulties slide that we can choose. Let's see. All right, Quinn, just let me know when you're in again. I don't see you. I don't. What if I generate a new link? Let's try this. All right, so if you try the new one I just sent. Yes. Yes. All right, and thank you for patiently being so problem. It's be happening right now, and we just have to relay. All right, well, there's Quinn. Now I think I'm green, but hopefully it'll all get caught up. All right, Quinn, do you want to jump back in on the group poem? I think everybody missed the whole thing. So we can
Okay.
start from the beginning.
Yeah.
You and I heard it. It was a great description, though. So let's go for it again.
Cool. My name is Quinn. Okay, I'm back. Yay. Okay, we heard from the studio audience once again. Yeah, so Rising Youth Theater, we are a. Oh, I just got really thrown off. We are a nonprofit organization based in Phoenix. We create original devised theater by putting young people and adults in positions of collaboration. And we've been working with the city of Tempe since August on their on this Arts in the Parks project. We in the last couple of months before social distancing, we were working with Connolly Middle and their middle schoolers to create a performance that would have taken place in Selleh Park, but we are instead in this virtual space together writing poetry, which I think is super dope. So, the group poem, I dropped the template into the chat, and it's also in the description. But basically, what's going to happen, I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but there's going to be a prompt. The prompt for this group poem is, what is something that you have learned about yourself over the past couple of weeks? And so what's going to happen, how it's going to work, we're going to give you like a couple of minutes to write like 3 to 4 sentences, more if you have a lot to say, but around 3 to 4 sentences is good. Just responding to that prompt. And then what's going to happen is we'll have you choose 3 words or phrases that are like key parts or like really important parts of your response. And then put them in the chat, and that will be how we form our group poem. But for right now, just go ahead and take a couple of minutes to respond to the prompt. You can do this, like you can type it, or you can write it, whatever feels comfortable for you. Yeah, and then we'll have you put your 3 words or phrases in the chat in a couple of minutes. And then I think, do we have more writing music?
We have more writing music.
Nice.
So while you're writing, should we share our responses to the question?
Yeah. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, cool.
So just like something I've learned about myself in the past few weeks, I've learned that I absolutely need to move my body regularly and remind myself to. I think in my typical day before we were in isolation, I was pretty active just as a matter of like the function of my job and life. So I didn't really have to think about it. And now I've found that I really need to make space to be in physical motion throughout the day, or I just feel terrible. And I've also learned that I am both an introvert and an extrovert in different ways. And this is bringing out challenges for both sides of those personalities, because I miss being social and spending time with friends and people that I care about in person. But also because I have a toddler, I am like never alone and someone is always touching me. So I feel like it's challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super real. All right, so we have our writing. So what's next? Oh, it looks like we lost you again, Quinn, but we're going to get it back. I think this time you may have just frozen. Let's see. Adding you into the scene. All right, let's try just switching back to this version and see if that works. So we'll try that. And then I'll put my words into the chat. The words I came up with are move, touch, and physical. So I'll drop those into the chat. We have some other good ones that are coming in. We have unproductive, phone, and scrolling. And we have enjoy small moments. Let's see if I can get Quinn back into the chat. Let's see. Forward, and we'll try this. We'll keep you posted. This is not what I was hoping for. All right, be patient with us. Let's see. Oh, it looks like all right, Quinn, I'm going to have you once again try adding the link in. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. Or let me send you a new link, actually. All right, cool. We're going to get Quinn back. Stay tuned. In the meantime, we have some other words that have come up. We have communal, communicative, and cooking. So I think we are. And let's see. All right, Quinn, I think.
Am I back?
You are for me. And you are for the world. All right.
Nice.
So, cool.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'll read all of the words and phrases that we have in the chat. And of course, if there's any more, please put them in the chat. We would love to read them. But this is basically, so normally when we do this in a rehearsal process or in a workshop or anything, we'll sort of put them all on a board or something and then take time to workshop and move things around. So this really what's existing in the chat right now is sort of a messy first draft of our collective virtual group home, which is really cool. Yeah, okay. So we have Structured, motivated, somewhere else, unproductive, phone, scrolling, enjoy small moments, move, touch, physical, communal, communicative, cooking, and that's it. I almost read Ty's comment, welcome back, y'all, as like the final line of the poem.
That's our ending line.
Okay.
Welcome back, y'all. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so like I said, like generally if we were in person, we would take a little bit more time to like workshop and move things around and like, you know, just sort of finesse and like polish, that was the word I was looking for, polish the poem. But I think that what we have in the chat right here is super exciting. And like I said, if you have anything else that you want to add, definitely add that into the chat. But I think for right now, we're ready to move on to our next poem, right?
Yeah. I mean, should we like, I'm going to just like put it together as a poem and drop that into the chat. So we have a poem of structure, motivated, scrolling somewhere else, unproductive, phone scrolling, move, touch, physical, communal, communicative, cooking. Enjoy small moments. Welcome back, y'all.
Yeah, that's great.
Wow. I think that's a solid poem.
Yeah.
So we actually only have time to do one more of our last two. Mm-hmm. Quinn, do you have a strong feeling between Cinquaines and Five Senses poems?
I really like the Cinquaines poems. What about you?
I like that too. All right. So that's where we're headed for our last one. Get ready. All right. And we're both here. This is very exciting. So I'm going to drop the template into the chat for you so that you have it. So Cinquaines are a poetry structure, I think, similar to when you think of a haiku, just in the sense that it's a very, very specific structure of a poem, and we can put things together using this structure that really tell very different stories. So to make a cinquain, it is 5 lines. That's where the name comes from. So the first line is a noun. So any noun, person, place, or thing. Line 2 is 2 adjectives. So adjectives are descriptive words, and those are related to your word in line 1. Line 3 is 3 gerunds. So a verb plus ing that is related to the word in line 1. Then you have 1 full sentence that is related to your word in line 1. Then we have line 5 is another noun that is a word that is a synonym, so something that means the same thing as the first word or something that feels connected to it. So let's do poems, Cinquaines, about the word community, and let's see what comes up for us. And maybe, Quinn, you and I can live write one together while we're giving people time to work on their own. So around community. So if I start with community, what are your 2 adjectives? We'll just take turns.
I think supportive is the first one. What's another one? What's an adjective that means feels good? That doesn't make any sense, but like, how about warm?
Oh, I like that. So then I'll do the gerunds. So I have connecting, living, listening. All right, you get the sentence.
Let's see. Trying to think of a sentence that doesn't sound like hokey or cheesy. I think What about just something simple like be there for your community, and your community will be there for you?
I like it.
Nice.
And then for our other noun, I'm going to go with one of our favorites, which is ensemble.
Yes.
So let's create one together. So there's 13 folks watching right now. We don't know who you all are, but we know your number. So I would love to have you in the chat and interacting. So going back to the word community, that's our starting point. We would love to see some adjectives in the chat. And again, an adjective is a descriptive word. We have complex. Thank you, Exanthia. Food, expansive. You can keep dropping in adjectives, but you can also move on to gerunds. So a gerund is a verb plus ing. Ooh, open, that's another good adjective. What are your ing words around community?
Eating. That's
Definitely.
a good one. Listening.
Learning, walking, sharing. This is really nice, y'all.
Yeah.
So let's move on to a sentence. Ooh, cooking. Cooking, eating, walking, listening, learning, sharing, discussing. All right, let's drop a sentence in. Who has a sentence about community? This is the hardest one. We know. Well, also we have 1 minute left. So let's move on to synonyms. Other words that feel connected to community. Calm. All right. So as we're reaching the end, I'm going to read our poem. Community, complex, food, expansive, open, eating, listening, learning, walking, sharing, cooking, discussing, calm. Community helps you when things are tough. I love my community. That is so beautiful, you all.
That's really nice.
Also, what a joyful note to end this time together on. Thank you to every single one of you for being here with us, for being patient with our learning process, for trying this with us, for sharing your energy and your writing.
Yeah, this has been a pleasure, y'all. Thank you so much. Yeah.
You want to do the where to find us and learn more?
Yeah, so if you want to learn more about the work we do or connect any more with us, you can go to our website, which is risingyouththeater.org. I don't know if it's it's not in the description, but it's risingyouththeater.org. We are on Instagram. Our username is risingyouth, THEA. So just theater without the TRE. Yeah, TRE. And we are on Facebook. It's Rising Youth Theater on Facebook. It's the full thing. And then we're on Twitter, but we don't really use it, so don't even worry about Twitter.
And there's a lot more great work happening as part of Arts in the Parks. So we were honored to be part of the Selleh Park community and to be able to work with them. But we know there's a lot more coming, and you can check out the Arts in the Parks Facebook event or their website for the city of Tempe. And thank you to the city of Tempe for including us and making space for this really amazing event. Thank you. All right, we're going to end this now. Thank you again so much.